we live in a system where the world spins, so every day comes back to the same spot, anti-clockwise. And then we also live on a planet that goes around the sun, anti-clockwise, and it comes back to the same spot. No big deal. The problem is, we live like we're living in straight lines. We live like we're going somewhere, but we're inside an ant farm, and we're inside a fishbowl. So what I did in 1999 is I just said, everyone's out of control because no one is living to the truth of how we actually live. Everybody is out of rhythm. And if you're living out of rhythm, you have to be in some form of disorder to what is the order of what we live in. So if you're in disorder to the magnificent order, that is the world spinning and it goes around endlessly, and we're living in disorder to that order, there has to be hyphenated dis-ease. There has to be a dis-ease because you are in disorder. Now this is an important thing because perception is the true intelligence, not recall, perception. You have to understand that perception is true intelligence. You have to be able to perceive what is true in order to understand life. If you don't have true perception, and this isn't just psychic development or anything like that, it's the ability to put the whole spherical thing together and go, whoa, okay, this is my place, this is how movement occurs, this is how life ought to be, and then do human life in the way that we do it under all the current systems. But the problem is all the systems, school, everything that we have in life doesn't make sense to the order that we live in. Even the perception that you're born and you die is a straight line. But nobody lives in straight lines because everything is about going around and around and around, going nowhere. And so if you're going around and around and around, going nowhere, there's something about that movement that we're not clocking and we're not actually making our perception. So this is it. If you look at the elliptical shape of the way in which we move, oval shape, if you look at the underbelly, it looks like we're going forward. That makes sense to our perception. We move forward through time. But the moment it starts to hit the egg end and it starts to come back, you won't say you're going forward, you'll say you're going back. You're returning. And no matter where you start with your X, be it January 1, February 10, or you use your birthdays or your financial year, June 30 to July 1, it doesn't matter, it always comes back to the same spot. So let's look at that scenario from a physical point of view or from a scientific point of view. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. That tells you you've moved on a day, correct? And Tuesday, and then there's a Wednesday, so it teaches you to think 3 or 4 days in advance because we have a name, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we have what's called a week, and then we have what's called a month. But all we're doing is putting names to something that is static. We're just turning around in circles on the earth, and all we're doing is calling it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're incrementally moving around the elliptical shape of the trajectory that we follow. Okay, so why is it that we think yesterday was Monday and today is Tuesday and I can leave that behind when you are the one that's moving and nothing's been left behind? So why is it that we live, the question is, why is it that we live in a situation where you cannot go anywhere but come back to the same spot? Why is it that we think we live beyond things and that we leave things behind? And could that be a level of illness and disease that we haven't discovered is a level of illness and disease? Do you understand so far? I'm just trying to take it really, really slow. So I've been practicing 2 levels of medicine, and that is universal medicine, and I'll explain what that is, and also esoteric medicine, which is about our innermost energetically experienced. And then the doctors and allied health do all the other stuff that I have no qualification or training to comment or be part of. And we have a very, very good conventional medicine and allied health system worldwide. Surgery is just beyond. What they can do surgically is amazing. And GPs do a fantastic job, as do physios, osteos, chiros, and everybody else. Problem is, if we were a company, we'd have to have this type of conversation at the boardroom, and that is, we've got all the experts and we're still going bankrupt. In other words, we've got more qualified health people in the world per capita than we've ever had, and yet we are sicker. Something is not making sense. And it's not just cancer, diabetes. I predicted in 1999 not only cancer, not only diabetes that would go up, I would also say that the heart disease will still hold itself. It won't slip into obscurity. I also predicted the rise of fibroids, cysts, prolapses, and the incidence of hysterectomies in women. I specifically predicted the rise of breast cancer and actually gave the reason why. The actual cause of what causes breast cancer. I also talked about the rise of prostate cancer as a result and the cause. Now, all of this is not me being special or magical or anything like that. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it so long as you are prepared to feel life and understand its true movement, which is to go around in circles going nowhere until we get it right. So life isn't about moving forward beyond something. And one of the reasons we need to understand this is that you always come back, no matter what, to address, the word is correct, to correct that which is out of order to the order that you live in. And so life is about addressing anything that you have done that doesn't belong to the system that we are part of. And the problem, that's simple. The problem is no human being cares about that. No one cares. And you might think I'm going environmental now on you, or very greeny, or whatever. You can say whatever, but it's not. Nobody really cares. We don't understand that the way we walk down the street angry makes a difference. You don't understand that swearing makes a difference. We don't understand that being angry and not loving and not intimate and affectionate makes a big difference to everyone, to our children, the way we raise. And every time we start to address the details of how we actually live, we switch off because of one general, major and commonplace issue. And that is, everyone has a hurt they don't want to visit. Now, we spend our whole life developing a way of avoiding getting hurt. And all life is geared about security, finding a good job, getting a good career, setting yourself up, saving for a home loan, paying off the mortgage, retirement, blah, blah. But that system is not working because our elderly are not enjoying the type of elderly life they used to have, especially when I was a kid and everyone retired and bought a caravan and went around Australia. Now they do the hospital tours around Australia. At this one we'll stop and get a hip replacement. At this one we'll get drop in and get some medication. I'm not having a go at the elderly, it's just the way the system is. We are ignoring a lot of what's going on. So my presentations are difficult because it asks you to visit things you've spent your whole life trying to avoid. And that's the hurts. Our childhood hurts are the first thing. And it's very difficult. If we've got relationships we haven't got over, if there has been sexual abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, whatever it is, we don't want to visit there because we've been very clever at trying to avoid it. The problem is we live in a system that says you can't avoid it. It has to be corrected. You have to revisit. You have to heal it. You can't carry it around with you. If you carry it around with you, it stays with you. Nothing is left behind. The world, the system where we live in, is teaching us that we are to go round in circles and have a look at everything, making sure that we are making choices about what we call existence, not that existence occurs in spite of us. So the whole idea of going around in circles is for us to make choices. What we need to do is address our hurts so that they don't come with us. And only then do we go around clear of that which once upon a time had a hold on us. Now, one of the questions you could ask me, is it possible to eventually heal everything? And the answer is yes, but not in perfection. In other words, there will always be some things, but can you live almost entirely free and being allowed to be who you truly are? Definitely, if you are willing to heal. And healing does not involve alcohol and drugs and escapism and entertainment and pornography and looking into a screen and checking out and doing anything like that. It means addressing the hurt and seeing that it's never bigger than you, that it was never ever bigger than you, that it was something you perceived was bigger than you, but in fact was not. Irrespective, and I've done some horrific cases because I see people in the clinic on a one-to-one situation, seen over 10,000 people in the last 16 years, well over 10,000 people in the last 16 years, and I've heard some of the most horrific cases, abductions and just about everything, childhood abuse, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, everything, and I can assure you that, including people being shot, and everything, I can assure you that anyone who is willing to go there will see that they were always greater than what was going on, only that they haven't been allowed to develop that for them to have that understanding, and therefore they are owned by the incident rather than understanding that they were always bigger than the incident and therefore can arise and heal no matter how hard or how awful the trauma was in the past.